Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan and welcome to today's Sticks Radio Show. Fabulous Bank Holiday Monday. Great to have you listening. Today on the show I have an award-winning band called Rugged Staff. They're a local band from Bedfordshire. We'll be talking to them in a little while, and we'll also be playing some tracks from their album called Kiss the Shore. But first let's start off the show with one of their tracks before we talk to them. It's called Never Ending Road.
The road now leads onward as far as can be, winding lanes and hedgerows in trees, by purple mountains and round every bend. All roads lead to you, there is no journey's end. Here is my heart, I'll give it to you. Take me with you across this land. These are my dreams, so simple and few. Dreams we hold in the palm of our hands. Deep in the winter, amid falling snow, high in the air where the bells they all toll, and now all around me I feel you still here. Such is the journey, no mystery to fear. Here is my heart, I'll give it to you. Take me with you across this land. These are my dreams, so simple and few. Dreams we hold in the palm of our hands. The road now leads onward, I know not where. I feel in my heart that you will be there. Whenever a storm comes, whatever our fears, the journey goes on as your love ever nears. Here is my heart, I'll give it to you. Take me with you across this land. These are my dreams, so simple and few. Dreams we hold in the palm of our hands.
Okay, today on the show I have three members, of the Rugged staff. I had Ned, Mike and Caroline.
Hello.
How you doing? Hello, how are we doing?
Great.
The fourth member, by the way, is the tambourine that Mike played.
Oh, yeah.
Was it? Okay. I tell you what, maths was never my strong point. Maths was and they're sitting here in front of me, 1, 2, 3. It's very hard. So let's talk individually to you first. Let's talk to Ned first.
Yep.
You play the tin whistle.
Yep.
And then the pipes.
Yep.
And do some vocals.
Yeah, and the old bowrun as well, which is the Irish drum.
Yeah, but you were born up north.
I was born in Oldham. Went to Sheffield Art College for about 3 or 4 years. Moved down here and basically sort of moved between Luton, then to Plotbill, then to Silsoe, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, because the band are based sort of all in Bedfordshire.
Yeah, it started off in Silsoe actually. What basically happened, and it's going back about 5 years ago now, we were doing a local show in the village hall, and we decided we'd do it in like little sketches, all about Christmas. And we decided to do Christmas in Ireland, and so we pulled all the musicians together, basically just to do a one-off. But most of the people enjoyed it so much, we thought we'd carry on and create the band. Ragged Staff was actually a local pub, a 17th century pub in the village, no longer there, but we decided we'd call ourselves after the pub. So basically Silsoe, but Mike and Caroline are obviously in this area as well. Mike's from Cranfield and Caroline's from Bedford.
Bedford, okay. So yeah, you recently won a big award. You won a competition. It was the it was the Love Folk Live Award, and it was mentioned that you, Rugged staff, successfully show that they have skill and capability not only to deliver an outstanding performance in a live environment, but perform their songs at such a high standard. And need my teeth organising. That's quite a thing. I know I was involved in it. I actually was hoping to come along to the finals. I've never actually made it, which is for things that other things have conspired against me. And I heard it went really, really well.
Yeah, it was a great event. They ran 3 basically pre-final heats, if you like, and I think there were about 30 musicians in total. Some sort of solos, singer-songwriters, some bands. And then we were whittled down to about, I think it was between 10 or 12, I forget what it was in the end. And then we all went down on the finals night and played and were awarded our various category awards. But there were some great prizes as well. I think Helen Meissner, who organised the whole thing, did an excellent job. She's
a great girl. I know. I had her on the show last year and she was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk to Mike now. You played the bouzouki, and the percussion.
That's right, yeah.
What sort of percussion instruments do you play?
Well, the tambourine, I sort of put my...
You're the fourth member.
As well.
You're not going to let me forget that.
We can introduce you to Freddie later.
Freddie the tambourine.
Yeah, Freddie the Fish, tambourine.
So how did you get into sort of folk music? And
fairly late. I've played, over the years, played more jazz than anything else, but I was based in Cambridge and I've always dabbled in folk, and I was in a modern jazz band and we just couldn't find a drummer. So myself and one of the other fellows who also dabbled in folk decided we'd go acoustic. And it all stemmed from there really, about 15 years ago, and gradually I've become a folk specialist.
Folk specialist, yeah. So what drew you to the sort of folk side, apart from you couldn't get a drummer in a jazz band?
Well, things like the acoustic instruments. It's surprising how many people you speak to who've learned on electric guitars and instruments, and when they try acoustic instruments and they can play them properly, there's something very satisfying about creating a basic sound there. And the fact that you can be very flexible in folk. With jazz, you're stuck with a front line, a back line, bass drums and so on, and quite often a fairly standard format. With folk, almost anything goes really. You can play whatever instruments you're best at. You can play several instruments to a reasonable level, rather than specialising just the one. And I just think there's more going on in folk than there is in jazz.
It seems to be doing a big revival. It seems to be really, it seems to be really coming to the forefront again. This Helen did a thing called Folk Stop last year, and I believe you played there?
Yeah, we did.
I never made it down, I must admit. It was another day I had other commitments, and Helen invited me down, and I understand it was a fabulous day. It was lovely weather as well, which was amazing for September.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was a brave thing to do. Anybody who sets up a festival for the first time, there are so many risks involved, but I think it really did pay off.
Yeah,
there were so many great musicians.
I heard great things about it. Not just from Helen, I hasten to add.
No.
But I mean, folk seems to be. I mean, even if you listen to like mainstream music now, there's a lot of sort of
Folk influence?
that's the word.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you should be on Twitter, Chris. Lot of folk influence in the background and things. Even if you listen to people like Ed Sheeran and people like that, who are sort of really sort of the new wave of sort of singers and songwriters. There's a lot of sort of like folky sort of influences in that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of discussion about what folk actually is, to be honest with you, because it's got such a massive spectrum of music, and you know, we tend to sort of look at a lot of traditional stuff and then rearrange it to make it sound different, to let it relive, if you like.
I think one practical factor as well is that over recent years, acoustic instruments have become better amplified and better to record as well, and that means that non-specialists, I think, can make more use of them. Hence, you see, you know, pop bands making use of folk instruments more than you used to.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands I've seen, you know, like mainstream bands are doing like unplugged concerts.
Yeah.
Which I find it's interesting. I mean, especially the Fabulous Stables. I always mention the Stables. Great venue,
great, yeah.
Absolutely amazing venue. I've seen some great bands there, and they do a lot of unplugged stuff there with you know, well-known musicians, real top flight musicians. You know, people like Steve Hackett go there and they play. You know, unaccompanied, you know, unacoustic things. Now, Caroline, let's talk to you now. How did you get into the folk? How did you get into musicianship?
Well, I did more typical school classical type of learning when I was younger, and then I just stopped playing for a few years when I'd left school, really. I sang in a choir locally, and I played a bit in a church band.
Okay.
But then I'd sort of, you know, hadn't played in public or anything much. And I saw an advert in the local paper, which Ned had put in following this show, asking for an Irish fiddle player, which I wasn't really an Irish fiddle player, but I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. And I came along to the rehearsal along with another girl who really was an Irish fiddle player. But actually,
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know.
She got one of my CDs, you know, never returned it.
But anyway, and I really enjoyed it. And I also like going to things like sessions as well as playing in the band, because it's just a really social thing, and you can just turn up and play without it being a performance.
Okay, an Irish fiddle player. Is that a lady who's Irish that plays the fiddle, or is there a technique?
Well, it doesn't have to be a lady, obviously. A violin and a fiddle are the same thing in terms of instruments, but a fiddle is more, as you say, a technique. So violin tends to be perhaps the classical technique, whereas fiddle playing, it's all in first position, and it's a different kind of bowing, and you tend to learn the tunes off by heart rather than playing with written music.
Okay, so you play by ear as such, if you
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good. I wish I could. I can't play and I can't sing. I think everybody knows that. I've told people enough on the show that I can't sing and I can't play. I do appreciate a good song though. Now let's take a little break. Now we'll play a track from the album. Ned, which one would you like me to play?
Maybe if we kick off with with track one, which is Blacksmith. It's a traditional song, but again we put our own slant on it. Starts off with a bit of Irish piping, and then goes into the song proper, which Caroline sings. So yeah, the Blacksmith.
You're singing on this one, Caroline.
Yes.
So you kept that under the hat. You just said you were a fiddle player.
Well, as I say, I have been in a choir as well, and I do like to sing, so Ned and I both tend to do vocals.
blacksmith courted me 9 months and better. He fairly won my heart, wrote me a letter. With his hammer in his hand, he looked so clever. And if I was with my love, I would live forever. But where has my love gone with his cheeks like roses? He's gone across the sea, gathering primroses. I'm afraid the scorching sun might burn and spoil his beauty. And if I was with my love, I would do my duty. Strange news has come to town, strange news is carried. Strange news flies up and down that my love is married. And I wish them both much joy, though they can't hear me. And may God reward them well for the slighting of me. Don't you remember well when you lay beside me? You said you'd marry me and not deny me.
If I said I'd marry you, it was only for to try you. So bring your witness of love and I'll not deny you.
Oh, witness have I none save God Almighty, and may He reward you well for the slighting of me. Oh, her lips grew pale and wan, it made her poor heart tremble to think she'd loved a one, and it proved deceitful.
This is Seclo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seclosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seclo Sounds and listen online or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seclo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page. MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
Okay, that was the Ragged Staff and the Blacksmith. Mike, apart from the Rugged Staff, you do something else, don't you? You run a magazine.
Yeah, that's right.
Unicorn
magazine. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it's around deadline time. But yeah, I got involved with the other two fellas, Simon Dales and Clive Batkin. We took over the magazine, which had been running for about 30 years, about a year ago, and yeah, it's gone pretty well. It's
a quarterly magazine. I've got
the
April, May, and June one in my hand here now.
Yeah.
And you've also got it online, so if people are interested, they can.
Right.
Can they subscribe to it, or they just read it online?
Just read it online.
Just read it online. And I'll just have a quick look. The website is www.unicornmag.org. Unicornmagazine.org.
That's it, yeah.
So that's www.unicornmagazine.org. That's a great thing. It just goes to show how much folk is going on in is it just Bedfordshire, this?
No, it's 4 counties, Beds, Herts, Bucks and Cambridgeshire.
And Cambridgeshire.
Yeah, if you just look at the listings there, there's stuff going on every night.
It looks better than my magazine, I'm worried about that. That's great stuff.
We can put you in touch with some people.
No, it's lovely. It's a really great thing.
Good,
When there's lots of things going on.
Yeah.
And so you're playing, I noticed in June you're playing, let's have a quick look. You've got a couple of concerts lined up in June, or one concert lined up in June. You're playing at the St Albans Folk Day at the old courthouse.
Yeah, that's been an event going for a few years now, and it's an amazing atmosphere down there. I mean, you think the place is slightly echoey in here, but I mean the old courthouse is literally so echoey. You hear your voice coming back about 5 minutes later. But it's an incredible venue, and it's getting stronger and stronger every year. And we just love to go down there.
And it's somewhere you've played before.
Yeah, we went down. This is our
Twice
third.
before.
Yeah,
Twice before. So this will be our third year.
Third year. So you've been invited back. Unlike me, I go somewhere once and never get invited back. I don't understand that. So obviously you must be doing something right.
Yeah, we changed our name.
And Unicorn magazine will be there as well. With a stall.
Oh, so you'll be able to pick one up when you're there. That's the 21st of June. That's great. And I mean, I know you're doing lots of concerts this year and things and that. I know, Mike, you've produced a musical, or you're going to be producing a musical. Ned, you're producing a musical.
Yeah, a few years ago I actually wrote a musical based on the aftermath of the Battle of Waterloo, and then like a lot of things, you put it to one side, don't do any more about it. And then I suddenly realised that June next year is the 200th anniversary of the actual battle itself. So I actually re-looked at it, rewrote it, and what I've done this time is, before I was hoping to find somebody who could write some music, this time I've decided to use some old English and Irish traditional tunes and put words to those. That makes sense for a lot of different reasons. Number one, you don't have to pay any royalties on the music, but number two, I can use my friends here to sort of be part of the orchestra that's obviously going to be back in the show. And it's the actual opening night is going to be next year on the same day that the battle was actually fought. It's being sponsored by Footscray Town Council, and we're hoping to get an Arts Council grant as well. And really what we're trying to do is get as many people as we can involved who haven't been involved in drama in the past, and have opened auditions. We've already got some really good people signed up on the technical side already. We've actually got 2 lighting directors. The first one is a guy who used to work for Andrew Lloyd Webber and actually lit Les Mis, and the other one he's actually worked on things like X Factor and Splash and all these major sort of TV shows. So we've got 2 amazing guys tied up to the lighting side. We've got a nice guy called Keith Badham who's going to be the director. So yeah, a really good production team coming together, and then we'll start looking for people to come and actually perform, the actors.
So tell us when it is.
It'll be the 18th of June is the opening night next year.
And it's the whole week?
It's going to be roughly the whole week.
Whole week?
Yeah. And it's going to be for charity as well. That's the main key behind it. And the work will start sort of end of this year. So if people want to get involved or want to know about it, if they go, there's actually a Facebook group been set up called The Walking Wounded, which is the name of the musical. So that's The Walking Wounded. And if people want to have a look at that and sign up to that group, they'll get a lot more information about it.
And they can then audition if
they
wish to.
Yeah, it'll mention when the auditions are going to be and where they're going to be. It's probably going to be down the Roofer Centre in Flitwick because that's where the venue's going to be.
It's a great venue as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. Very great acoustic, very good acoustics in there. The teeth are not working at all today.
Yeah, we're going to be playing in it quite a few times.
So the band are all going to be playing. You're going to be
Yeah,
playing.
that's right.
Yeah, we'll hope to be involved.
That's going to be great next year. I mean, it's something different. It's going to be pretty unique, isn't it? Because you've written it, and I mean, I didn't realise it was 200 years. I wasn't around when it happens. I know I look like I was sometimes.
Well, you see, I think I was in a former life, and I know it's getting spooky now. But the bizarre thing is, I was actually born in a place called Waterloo, which is near Ashton-under-Lyne in Lancashire. And my dad used to go to the local pub, which is called the Wellington. So I think from a very, very early age, it's been instilled inside me. So I know it sounds a bit spooky, but I actually think I was there as well in a former life. But
It's a bit,
you might want to edit that out.
It's a little bit spooky, isn't it?
Well, I lived in Waterloo and Liverpool as well.
So, the only Waterloo I know is ABBA. So we're Anyway, let's take another break. Let's play Caroline's track now. Which one would you like me to play from the album?
Well, we've just been talking about the name of the musical being The Walking Wounded, which is actually what Mike was going to choose, so perhaps we should play that one
Play the
next.
Walking Wounded. That sounds a great idea.
Redundancy calls with little immunity. Jobs and a plus, but minus our dignity. Walk in the streets of a caring community. Make way for the walking wounded. Debits and credits are keeping the wolves at bay. Wife on the corner is into display and pay identity theft. You can have mine on any day. Make way for the walking wounded. Brothers in arms return from Afghanistan. Heroes parade, but crimes in the jerry can. In high regard, a part of the also ran. Make way for the walking wounded. In high definition, the killer is led away. Boy in his teens, but ran it a tearaway. Mother at home, rewinding her life away. Make way for the walking wounded.
Best travel locations around the globe, book your seat for the John Gwynn Travel Show on Seclo Sounds every Monday at 12 noon. Hear the latest advice and recommendations to help you achieve maximum enjoyment and value from your trip, no matter where you want to go or what you want to do. Also, check out John's travel report as he reveals the things that the travel industry could do better. The John Gwynn Travel Show, Mondays at 12 noon on Seclo Sounds. Check it out before you check in.
Gary Fitz here, every Monday, 10 o'clock. Coming up, we've got Eric and Ernie. Join me here on Seclo Sounds.
In your smile.
It's from 1975, Eric and Ernie were four...
Gary, it's not Eric and Ernie, it's Earl and Ernie, the Cape Brothers, Union Man.
Oh, I see. Gary Fitz here, every Monday, 10 o'clock.
Earl and Ernie.
Yeah, well, that was from the Rugged Staff's Kiss the Shore. That was the Walking Wounded.
Yeah, that was actually one that Ned wrote the words for, and so it's one of our more original ones.
Yeah. And doesn't relate to Waterloo at all. So
no, it's not actually.
Not to confuse anyone.
That's not confused you. But yeah, we recorded the album, as you say, it's called Kiss the Shore, at the studios in Shefford called Sound Arc, so it's quite a local studio.
Yeah, I actually know it. I've driven past it many, many times, not living that far from there. But it's a great studio to record at.
It's a great unit. I mean, there's one particular guy down there, one of the engineers called Gareth James, who's so sympathetic to folk music and what we're trying to achieve by using acoustic instruments and things like that. And we were so lucky to find him, and I think he's done an excellent job on the album.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it sounds very nice. So I'm sure the listeners will love it. And I mean, not knowing a lot about music myself, I think if you have a good producer, I think I'm listening to people who've had their stuff produced by top-notch producers, should we say? Yeah, they can makes a hell of a difference.
Well, we're going to go back there in about a month's time. A good friend of ours who used to be a former band member called Joe Dunn. He spent the last year or so writing about 14, 15 songs that he wants to put on a CD, and again, this is going to be for charity. some great songs, and what we're trying to do is to get as many sort of local musicians and singers on board. And so far, we've got a guy, Hamish Curry, from sort of the Berkhamsted way, who's going to sing one of the songs. We've recently got in touch with a local singer called Leslie Jurgensen. Really great singer, so she's going to be involved as well. The Foxglove Trio, a great folk band, they're going to get involved as well. John Devine, the Devine family, they're going to get involved. And a guy called Jordan. So, you know, so far, and us, of course, yeah. And it's just going to be an amalgamation of different people's ideas to his songs. And as I say, bring it out and just everything that all profits will go to charity.
So it's going to be 14 tracks that he's written.
He's written, yeah.
And are you all going to sing a track each, or is it going to be a super group where you're all playing together?
It's going to be a bit of everything, I think. A bit of everything.
We'll all be involved in different ways.
So it sounds really good. So what's the guy's name again?
Joe Dunn.
Joe Dunn.
Yeah, local guy. He lives in Silsoe, just down the road.
Just down the road. Yeah. So
we're looking forward to that because that gets us back in the studio, which is a real experience.
It's I mean, it's great for this. I mean, people don't realise what's happening locally, and I think that's part of the Sticks ethos, and it's great. And well, the Unicorn magazine as well. It's great that people don't know what's actually happening on their doorstep. Because Ned, you run a jazz club, a folk club here in Silsoe.
Yeah, it's actually called the NAF Club, which is NAF, and before people get the wrong idea, it's a very good club.
I've been to a few NAF clubs over the years, but run into that one.
Well, NAF actually stands for Not a Folk Club, so really anybody who plays, it tends to be mostly acoustically, and to be fair, there is quite a lot of folk, but we don't sort of say, you know, you play blues and you play rock, you can't come down there. So it is basically a music club. It's been going now for a few years. It's in the local pub, which is the George on the High Street there, first Tuesday in every month. We get a really good turnout. We normally have a sort of special guest. We tend to go for those people who are sort of local artists who are trying to come through the sort of, come through the levels, so to speak. And it's just a really good night. It's cheap admission, so there's no reason not to come down. And what's been really good is a lot of local music. Well, I say they weren't, local people who weren't musicians who come along now. They bought a guitar. We've had people buy harps and various other, and they come down and bit by bit you can see how they've progressed over the years, and it's been really good from that perspective.
So you say it's cheap admission?
Well, yeah, £2.50.
£2.50. Well, I mean that is cheap. No,
well, it's not so right.
Because I mean, some people think cheap £30. No, that's great. £2. So it's £2.50. It's the first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday of the month in the George in Silsoe, and we actually run it in the Chinese restaurant. So, unfortunately, not serving Chinese on that particular night, but you get the aroma of Chinese food as well.
Making you hungry now already. That's terrible.
But it's a good place to come if you're not necessarily confident with performing. It's a very safe place to come and try it out initially.
In fact, you're going to bring your son down, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to bring my son for the first time next week. He's 13, but he's learning violin.
Not fiddle.
I'm afraid, because it is tending to be taught as violin at school, isn't it? But he's going to play some fiddle tunes with me, so there you go.
That's great. I mean, it's lovely though. I mean, we'll take another break, and then afterwards I'm going to ask you who your musical influences were. Now, it's Mike's turn to choose a track now from the album.
Yeah, I'll go for, it's an English tune, but it may be Scottish in origin, and it's Rosebud in June.
Rosebud in June.
Yeah.
Is there a story behind it, or why you chose that one?
Not really, it's just different to some of the other songs and tunes we do. It's laid back, it's quieter, and it seems to have attracted a fair bit of interest around the internet radio stations.
Okay.
So,
I like it because it's very pastoral in theme.
So it's lullaby type-ish.
Yeah, about the country.
Well, we'll hear it in a minute. So that's Rosebud in June.
There's a rosebud in June and a violet in full bloom, and the small birds are singing on every green bough. The pipe and whistle takes his last all on the green grass, and the lads and the lasses do sheep shearing go. There's a rosebud in June and a violet in full bloom, and the small birds are singing on every green bough. We'll pipe and we'll sing, love, we'll dance in a ring, love, when each lad takes his last all on the green grass, and the lads and the lasses do sheep shearing go.
Now that was Rosebud in June, again from the Ragged Staff's Kiss the Shore. So now then, I just before we listen to the tune, I was going to ask you about musical influences. Mike, let's start with you. Who are your big musical influences? Who are your sort of musical heroes? And when you grew up?
Well, growing up in Liverpool, you couldn't really avoid the Beatles. I've never actually bought one of their albums because they were here, there, and everywhere, weren't they?
Yeah.
So it was difficult not to be influenced by them, I think. And possibly that's how I got into playing bass, because it struck me that listening to the albums, who was having the most fun was McCartney on the bass, because
Wow.
you can get away from the tune, you can follow the chords, you can harmonise, all the rest of it. So I think that helped to get me into bass. And then I started following some of the heavier bands like Groundhogs and Led Zeppelin, and moved from there into jazz. And the usual greats, Miles Davis, I think.
So
It's lasted very well.
Yeah, would you say Miles Davis was your favourite?
Well, no, because I haven't gone into folk. I suppose my current heroes are people like Spies and Bowden, who are part of Bellowhead.
Oh yes, yeah, no,
That's
yeah.
right. But they also carry on playing as a duo, and they're just as good in a more restrained way. And there's people like Belshazzar's Feast, which is another duo.
So is that who you listen to sort of in the car now?
Yeah, that's right. And
Okay.
unlike Ned and Caroline, I like a good song, but I love a good tune, and nearly all my favourite music is instrumental.
Really?
Yeah.
I must admit, I recently went to see a Beatles tribute band, and I knew all the words. I'm not old enough to really remember the Beatles, just towards the end. And it was amazing how the people all sang, and so many people say the Beatles were one of their influences, so many musicians.
Yeah,
how about yourself, Ned?
A bit like Mike in a way. I mean, I started off listening to people like Pink Floyd and Jethro Tull and Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and all these guys. And to be honest with you, I still do. I mean, I think my sort of love of music is sort of pretty wide. From a folk perspective, though, I went through art college and spent a lot of time listening to the John Peel show. And I think John Peel was probably one of the first DJs to start playing music, Irish music, and there were bands like Buffy Band, Planksty, Boys of the Lot, people like that, Chieftains, and bit by bit, I got a real love for that kind of music. And I was lucky at one particular time to meet somebody who used to play in Boys of the Lot, still does, called Catherine McConnell, who was a whistle player. And I actually sat in the back of a taxi with him, and he was just playing the whistle on the way to a gig. And I was just absolutely standing, just totally knocked out. And my sort of, that was the early days then of my love of sort of Irish folk music in particular. But again, I listen to so many different types of music. I can't really put my finger on one particular area, but clearly being part of a folk band is my love at the moment.
How about yourself, Caroline?
Yeah, well, I mean, as I mentioned, I have a sort of fairly classical music-y background, so I do like instrumental in that sense, but I tend to, in the car, listen to things I can sing along to, so any of the current sort of folky singer-songwriters, really.
So who are you listening to at the moment?
Just trying to think. I've bought so many new albums recently, I can't remember any of their names. It's terrible, isn't it? I think this one's
as bad as me. I can never remember people's names either.
I was going completely blank on that.
Should we ask the tambourine? No, we won't bother with that one.
Ready, yeah.
So, also, you obviously you're doing a few concerts this year, but you'd like to do a few more, wouldn't you? So
Yeah, we're always available to play. We're always in touch with folk clubs, and we've tended to play most of the folk clubs in the area, and we're just hoping for a sort of a rebooking. But obviously, there's so many good bands and good people around here that you normally have to wait a year or maybe 18 months before you get invited back, because there's such a wealth now of people playing that instruments around here that we're quite happy to play in pubs and.
Well, we've done a couple of birthdays as well this year.
Birthday parties.
Bands night.
Films night, any sort of special occasion, really.
But a few weddings.
We haven't actually done weddings. I don't think so many people choose folk for that.
No.
But it's quite interesting that things like birthday parties and stuff like that. Folk bands are being invited to play at there.
Yeah,
At one time, it would have been a disco, or it would have been, a pop band or something like that. But more and more, we seem to be invited to those kind of places, which shows that people are beginning to love that kind of music.
Garden parties.
We're coming up for the summer season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fingers crossed, we get a good summer this year.
Yeah,
we haven't had a winter, so hopefully we're going to have a nice summer.
Yeah.
So you can look on our website if you wanted to.
Yeah, which is www.raggedstaff, all one word. .co.uk. Ragged dash hyphen staff. I always get that wrong. Ragged hyphen staff at co.uk.
Yeah.
And we've got a Facebook page as well, which is Ragged Staff Folk Band.
Mm-hmm. And then all the details of how they can contact you. Yeah. Do you tweet as well?
No, we haven't got into that yet. We might. Why haven't we done that yet?
No Twitter account.
Mark's our electron. Maybe we should ask the fourth member. Maybe
it's Tambourine. Why are they not on Twitter? So that's the way they can contact you and hire you and bits and bobs like that.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure today to have Mike, Ned, and Caroline on the show. We'll play a couple more tracks from their album, and before we say goodbye.
Seclo Sounds, your listening station.
There were three old gypsies came to our hall door, and they came brave and boldly, oh. And as one sang high, and the other sang low, and the other sang a raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. And it's upstairs and downstairs the lady went, put on a suit of leather, oh. It was the cry all around her door, she's away with the raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. It was late that night that the Lord came in, inquiring for his lady, oh. The servant girls replied one and all, she's away with the raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. Then saddle for me milk-white steed, for me big horse is not speedy, oh. And I will ride and I'll seek my bride, she's away with the raggle-taggle gypsy, oh. Well, he rode east, he rode west, he rode north and south also, but when he rode to a wide open field, it was there that he spied his lady, oh. Oh, why do you leave your house and your land? Why do you leave your money, oh? Why do you leave your only wedded lord, all for the raggle-taggle gypsy, oh?
Yeah, what do I care for me house and me land? What do I care for money, oh? What do I care for my only wedded lord? I'm away with me raggle-taggle gypsy, oh.
It was there last night, you'd a goose feather bed, with blankets drawn so comely, oh. Tonight you lie in a wide open field, in the arms of your raggle-taggle gypsy, oh.
Yeah, what do I care for a goose feather bed? What do I care for blankets, oh? Tonight I lie in a wide open field, in the arms of me raggle-taggle gypsy, oh.
Well, you rode east as I rode west, you rode high as I rode low, oh, I'd rather have a kiss off a yellow gypsy's lips than all of your gold and your silver, oh.
As I mentioned a few weeks ago, if you want to get your event on the show, all you have to do is email me at thesticks@seclosounds.org. What one organisation that did was the people behind MK Disability Awareness Day, or they're calling it MK Dad. It's the first time in Milton Keynes that they'll be celebrating Disability Awareness Day with a carnival-themed picnic in the park. This will happen on Sunday the 13th of July between 12 and 3 at the MK Rose Campbell Park. It's free to everyone. Just bring your own picnic. MK Dad will showcase the amazing talent that exists within our disabled community and is aiming to put MK on the map as a city that inspires a can-do attitude among its whole population. City-based British archery champion Valerie Williamson is coming along with Britain's youngest Paralympian fencing champion Gabby Down and Paralympic footballer Alistair Patrick Heselton. If that won't inspire you, and nothing will. So, as I say, also there's going to be music from the Haddam Beats and drumming from the Warriors, and also dance from Neon and performances from M Compass and MK Snap. You can also try over a dozen sports, games, gymnastics, yoga, arts and crafts, and meet the MK Dons mascot and explore the MK Dons on tour bus. And also the Thames Valley Police Community Unit will be there. The event will be opened by MK's new mayor and supported by internationally renowned artist Gordon Young, who designed the MK Rose and supported the Disability Awareness Day pillar. Cakes, cookies, pizza, bread will be on sale from Campton and MK Snap. And we had a really awesome coffee van, so sounds a great event to get along. And I say that's on Sunday the 13th of July between 12 noon and 3 o'clock. I'm hoping to get along there, so maybe I'll bump into you. If anybody else would like me to promote their events on the show, just email me at thesticks at seclosounds.org. That's thesticks@seclosounds.org. Look forward to hearing from you. There we are. That sounds a great event to go along to. As I say, I'm hoping to get along there. We'll have to see. Now, before that, we heard from the Ragged Staff from their album, which is called Kiss the Shore. First we heard, it was a medley of 3 songs, Maids of Mickletown, The Old Bush, and Rip the Calico. And just now we heard Raggle Taggle Gypsies. Got time for really one more of their songs, maybe 2 if we're lucky. Let's play a song called Big Country. Big Country from the Ragged Staff. I'd like to thank Caroline, Mike and Ned, Ragged Staff, for being my guest today. As you can tell, listening to their songs, you can see why they won the award recently. And next week on the show, I have something slightly different, different from this week. I have a gentleman called Rob Comber, who plays Freddie Mercury in a band called the Bohemians. So we'll be chatting to him next week, and we're playing The Sounds of Queen. So we've moved from sort of folk to rock. Anyway, I've been Terry Sullivan. This has been the Sticks Radio Show. And until next week, it's bye for now. And I leave you with a snatch of Rugged Staff and their version of a song called Keys of Canterbury.
Oh, madam, I will give you the keys of Canterbury, and all the bells in London shall ring to make us merry. If you will be my joy, my sweet and only dear, and walk along with me anywhere.
Sir, I won't accept from you the keys of Canterbury, though all the bells in London shall ring to make us merry. I will not be your joy, your sweet and only dear, nor walk along with you anywhere.
And then, madam, I will give you this fine silken gown, with 9 yards of trailing drooping on the ground. If you will be my joy, my sweet and only dear, and walk along with me anywhere.
Sir, I won't accept from you your fine silken gown, with 9 yards of trailing drooping on the ground. I will not be your joy, your sweet and only dear, nor walk along with you anywhere.
And then, madam, I will give you this small...
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.